Hello students and welcome to my channel. Today we shall do your chapter 4 determiners. Now what is a determiner? Determiner is a word which is used to specify a noun. Now what do you understand by a noun? Any name, place, animal or thing is called a noun. So the word which specifies or points out a noun is used as a determiner. Now, it is also a word which is used before a noun. It helps to clarify or clear what a noun is referring to. What that name, place, animal, or thing in the sentence is referring to or pointing out to is clarified or made clear by your determiner. Now, it is typically placed before descriptive adjectives. Now, what are adjectives, students? Adjectives are describing words. They describe your noun. They describe how the name, place, animal, or thing is. So, these determiners are placed before these descriptive adjectives. Next, they also tell us the quantity of position and they demonstrate your nouns. Now, they tell us whether the noun phrase is specific or general. Now, what do you understand by noun phrase? A noun phrase is a word or group of words which will contain a noun and function in your sentence as either the subject, object, or prepositional object. Now, students, as you know, a sentence is incomplete without your subject, object, or prepositional object in order to make some sense. So, those group of words which contain the noun and function in the sentence as your subject, object, or prepositional object is called your noun phrase. Why are we studying about noun phrases here? Because determiners will tell us whether the noun phrase in your sentence is specific or it is talking about a noun in general. Now, what do you understand by prepositional object in noun phrase? It determines the object of your preposition in the sentence. The object of a preposition is also known as a prepositional object. It is essential to perform complete sentences. What are complete sentences? Meaningful sentences. Now, in a sentence, the object of a preposition is a noun or a pronoun that will come after a preposition. So, this is what is understood by a prepositional object, which is used in a noun phrase, which is required when we study about determiners, because determiners will tell us whether the noun phrase is specific or general. Now, students, determiners are of how many kinds? Determiners are of six kinds: articles, demonstratives, possessives, interrogatives, quantifiers, and distributives. Now, articles. Articles, I will tell you in detail about articles. Demonstratives means this, that, these, those. Possessives means his, her, theirs. Interrogatives means asking questions. What, why, how. Quantifiers, how much, how many. Next, we come over to articles. Articles are a and the. Now, they are used to point out to particular people or things. Now, students, their articles are now divided into two types. They are your definite articles and indefinite articles. Now, a and are indefinite articles. What do you mean by indefinite? Indefinite means not pointing out to anything particular. In general, they are used, a and are used when we are not talking of any person or thing in particular. A and are used before singular countable nouns that are used to represent a class of things. Now, A is used before singular countable nouns beginning with a consonant sound. Can you see, for example, bag? Now, bag is single. I can count the bag. Therefore, the bag is singular countable noun and it is beginning with your consonant sound. Whereas in your if the word is a singular countable noun and beginning with a vowel sound, what are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So then we use the article an over there. But A is used before singular countable nouns beginning with a consonant sound. Now, these are also used before any word that begins with a vowel but is pronounced with a consonant sound. Now, this is very important, students. Normally, students tend to make mistakes over here. For example, a university, a unit. Now you will say in this university, it is starting with a vowel. But what is the sound that it is making? It is making U. The um, a university will not be an university, it will be a university, a unit. Though it is beginning with a vowel, but is pronounced with a consonant sound U, Y-O-U. Next, an is used before singular countable noun beginning with vowel sound. Example, an elephant, an egg. So we use an over here. Used before abbreviations. What are abbreviations? Abbreviations are short forms. If the consonant begins with a vowel sound. Example, an M-A. M means it is starting with the E and as an M, M-A, M-P. Therefore, we use an in these cases. Used before words beginning with the letter H, which is not pronounced like an R. We don't say an hour. We don't say an honest man. We say an R, an honest man, where H is silent. So before these kind of words also we use we use the article an. Indefinite articles are used when a singular countable noun follows the words like what and such. For example, what a beautiful dress. She is such a nice girl. So we use the article, indefinite articles before such words, what and such. Now, a or an are used before a singular countable noun that is used to represent a class of things. Like, for example, an elephant is an intelligent animal. Now, elephant is representing the whole class of animals. So, there we will use an. Your elephant is representing the entire class of elephants. Indefinite article is used to indicate one also, one single, not a word was spoken. So, not a single word was spoken. Therefore, we use the article a. Used to speak of a profession like she is a doctor, she is an artist. Why an artist? Because it is starting with the vowel A. Why a doctor? Because it is starting with the consonant D. Next, words like dozen, few, quarter, little, and lot are preceded by A. Preceded means they come before the article A. Now, like she bought a dozen eggs. Like, what did we say? Like in words like dozen, it is preceded by the article A. A lot of people liked her dance. What did we read? Like words like lot also are preceded by the indefinite article a. Next, we will study the definite article the. Definite means it is referring to a particular person or a thing. We know what we are talking about, what we are referring to. Therefore, we will use the definite article the. It can be used with both singular and plural, countable and uncountable nouns. This you have to keep in mind that the definite article the can be used with both singular and plural, singular one, plural more than one, countable can be counted, uncountable cannot be counted nouns. Is used when we speak about something that we have already referred to, is used with superlatives. Superlatives you have studied in your degrees of comparison, positive, comparative, and superlative. So wherever superlative words come, we use the definite article the. For example, the most intelligent, the most beautiful, the best student. There they are used with the definite article the. Used before ordinals. What are ordinal numbers? When we refer to numbers as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, these are ordinal numbers. What are cardinal numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are called cardinals. Ordinals are first, second, third. So wherever ordinal words come, there also we use the definite article the. It is used before certain proper nouns like some names of holy books like the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, like this. Names of seas, rivers, and oceans like the Ganga River, the Brahmaputra, the Caspian Sea. So these are all used before certain proper nouns. Before that, we use the definite article the. Names of newspapers. We say the Hindu, the Times of India. We don't say a Hindu, a Times of India. We say the because these are certain proper nouns before which we use the definite article the. Directions like the east. The sun rises in the east. In direct before directions also we will use the definite article the. The sun sets in the west. The west. Well-known buildings like the Gateway of India, the Red Fort, the Jama Masjid, like this. Abbreviations like you can say MP. MP will have an. Abbreviations will be like your I'll tell you in the coming examples. Classes of people. Next, no articles are used with material nouns. What are material nouns? Examples are your gold and silver, etc. Abstract nouns. What are abstract nouns? Abstract nouns are something which tell us the state of being, like honesty, beauty, etc. Before names of meals like lunch, breakfast, dinner, also we use no articles. This is very important. You have to understand where no articles or zero articles are used. Material nouns, abstract nouns, names of meals, names of languages, academic subjects, and all day, all night, air, by sea, by air. Keep this in mind where no articles are used. Now, let us do your tryout one. Fill in the blanks using articles. Cross the blank if no article is required. Now, number one. Shreya lives in dash small flat in dash middle of the city. There is dash dance school nearby and dash noise keeps her awake at night. There is a small flat. We don't know, which is indefinite. We don't know what the flat is. She lives in a small flat in the middle of the city. We know that she lives in the middle of the city. That is definite. But in which flat she lives, we don't know. Therefore, small flat will have the article a, and in the middle of the city is specified specific, therefore in the definite. So there is a dance school nearby. We don't know which dance school. There is some general dance school nearby, and the noise keeps her awake at night. We know that there is something specific which keeps her awake at night. What is that? Some noise. So the noise keeps her awake at night. Number two, Taj Mahal is situated near Arabian Sea. The Taj Hotel. We have said certain proper nouns will have the definite article the before them. Number three, I applied for dash job last week. I applied for a job last week. I don't know which job I applied for, whether a job of a receptionist or a doctor or what. I just applied for a job last week, indefinite. The job involved driving. Why the job? Because I have already specified that I'm applying for a job. So in the second sentence, I'm referring to some job which I've already spoken about. Therefore, I will use the job involved driving a bus around the country. Now, I don't know what kind of bus or which bus, whether it is a state transport bus or a national bus or whatever, it is indefinite. Number four, Gateway of India is quite far from Dash Museum, so you'd better take a bus. Gateway of India is a certain proper noun. Therefore, the Gateway of India is quite far from the Science Museum, so you'd better take a bus. Number five, Dash general manager has Dash fever, so he can't come to Dash meeting this afternoon. The general manager, because we know whom we are talking about. Our office has a particular general manager, so the definite. The general manager has fever. There will be no article over here, so he can't come to the meeting this afternoon. We are talking about a specific meeting, and because the general manager has fever, there will be no article before it. So he can't come to the meeting this afternoon. Number six, I have an appointment at the pathologist. An appointment because I don't know what time. This afternoon, but I don't know what time. So I have an appointment. Why and? Because it is starting with the vowel A. I have an appointment at the pathologist. I know I am going to a particular path lab, and therefore definite the pathologist this afternoon because I have to get a test done. I have to get a test done. I have to get a particular test done. Next, number seven. We spent last summer on the island of Lakshadweep. We spent, there will be no article because, like we said, certain things omit articles. Like last summer, previous day, these all we don't use articles. We spent last summer on the island of Lakshadweep because we know where we spent it. There is definite island of Lakshadweep. We have spent our last summer there, so we know definitely. So we use the definite article the over there. Next. 8. Water is essential for life. Now, we will not use any article over here. Just water is essential for life. And I will use the in the second sentence because the water kept in this jug is filtered because I'm already referring to your noun water in the first sentence. So the second sentence is having a back reference to the noun mentioned in the first sentence. So the 9. Gulzar is the Wordsworth of India. Poems and songs written by Gulzar are marvelous. Gulzar is the because Wordsworth is a proper noun and the poems and songs written by Gulzar are marvelous. Next, Dash universities of Oxford and Cambridge are two of next year. Number 10. Universities of Oxford and Cambridge are two of the most famous universities in Europe. Now, the universities of Oxford and Cambridge are two of the most. Here, you will not use the. It is just universities. You will also not use an over here because you might have a doubt why it is not starting with an because it is starting with a vowel. Because universities of Oxford and Cambridge are proper nouns. We will omit, in such cases, we omit uh, articles over here. So, universities of Oxford and Cambridge are two of the most famous universities in Europe. There will be no article in front of Europe also because Europe is a particular proper noun. Number 11. Holiday I took in India was the best I've ever had. The holiday I took in India was the best I've ever had. The holiday, I know which specific holiday I took in India was the best I've ever had. Now, why the best? Because we use the definite article the before superlatives. Therefore, the best I've ever had. 12. Detective Sherlock Holmes and his assistant Dr. Watson solved a lot of mysteries. Detective Sherlock Holmes is and his assistant. The, this detective Sherlock Holmes is a proper noun, so it will not require any article before this because we are talking about Detective Sherlock Holmes and his assistant Dr. Watson. No article over here because we are using both of them together in the sentence. So, Detective Sherlock Holmes and his assistant Dr. Watson is understood as one noun phrase. So they solved a lot of mysteries. Next, we will do try out 2. Now, pick the correct option. Can I have a few, some, or many cheese, please? Can I have some cheese, please? Now, where do we use few when there is hardly any? Where do we use some when we use some nouns to refer to indefinite quantities? Now, where do we use many? When we refer to a large number of something countable. So the answer is can I have some cheese? Because the quantity is indefinite. So some cheese. I'm asking you for some cheese. Next, number 2. Do you want sugar in your tea? Now, what will I use here? Yes, just much, a little, or a few. Now you have to understand where you use much. Much refers to large quantities of things that are uncountable in nature. A little is used with singular uncountable nouns. And a few is used with plural countable nouns. So in this sentence, you will answer yes, just a little please because sugar is your singular uncountable noun. You cannot count the grains of sugar. Next, number 3. Could you lend me a little of few or much books? Could you lend me a few books? Where do we use few? With hardly any. Few books. Oh, sure, you can borrow as much, few, or many books as you want. You can borrow as many books as you want because we refer to many to point out to a large number of something countable. Books can be counted, but they are large in number. So you can borrow as many books as you want. Number 4, please lend me some, a lot of, or a few money. I am sorry, I am not able to. Please lend me some money because some is used before nouns to refer to indefinite quantity. Some money means he's not asking lend me 100 rupees or lend me 10 rupees. He's saying lend me some money. Next, number 5. I need water to cook. How much, how many water you want? It is how much water you want because it refers to large quantities of things that are uncountable in nature and water is uncountable. It can be measured in liters but it cannot be counted. Next, number three, complete the sentences with some or any. He is now, first, before doing this, let us understand where we use some and where we use any. Some is used before nouns to refer to indefinite quantity. We do not know what quantity we are asking for or referring to or specifying. And any is used in indefinite quantities when we ask questions or the sentence has some negative meaning to it. Negative in the sense, doesn't make any positive sense. The answer will always be in negative. We can understand clearly with the exercise. Number one, he is going for a holiday with dash friends in June. Now, do we know the number of friends? We do not know. So we will write he is going for a holiday with some friends in June. Number two, I think he doesn't have dash proof of his innocence. Now, this is a negative sentence. I think he doesn't have. Doesn't have is a negative sentence. I am thinking negative. I am thinking that the answer is definitely negative. He does not have any proof of his innocence. Number three, didn't you have dash fight with your cousin last time when he came here? Didn't you? Now see, this is a. I said that we use any when we are referring to indefinite quantities in questions. So this is a question. So didn't you have any fight with your cousin last time when he came here? Question mark. Four. There is seldom dash good news in the newspapers these days. Seldom means hardly any. It is negative. It is a negative sense sentence. There is seldom any good news in the newspaper these days. Number five, I'm going to my cousin's marriage this weekend, but before that, I had some urgent work to do because I don't know how much of work I have, but I have some urgent work to do. Number six, I just got to know that there are dash important changes made in the school syllabus. There are some important changes. I don't know how much, but some important changes have been made in the school syllabus. Do you have any good ideas for this project? Why are we using any? Because it is a question. Dash. Number eight. Dash questions you have should be sent to the principal and not me. Now, this is again a negative thing because he is saying that whatever questions you have, don't send it to me, send it to the principal. So, we use any. Any questions you have should be sent to the principal and not me. Whenever you give an answer, students, you always have to justify your answer. Only then you will understand why you are doing it. Next, try out four. Complete the sentences with each or every, whichever is more likely. If you can use either of them, write both. Number one, I try to visit my grandparents in Delhi dash other month. Now, where do we use each and where do we use every? We use each when we refer to people or things one at a time. But we use every when we refer one after the other in succession. Now, here, number one, I try to visit my parents in Delhi every other month. That means, supposing I went in January, then I will go next in February or maybe March. So, this is happening in a succession, in a sequence. So, every other month, this is being repeated. Therefore, we will use every. They greeted each other nicely. Now, we are referring to people or things one at a time over here. They greeted each other nicely. Number three, I have dash faith in my capabilities. I have, there will actually be no, determiner over here, but you can use I have every faith in my capabilities. Next, number four, from next year, dash girl child will get a monthly amount of 1,000 rupees. Now, from next year, that means in succession, every girl child will get a monthly amount of 1,000 rupees from next year onwards. Number five, she read dash information slowly and carefully as I tried to write them down. She read each information slowly. Why each? Because it is referring to people or things one at a time. She read each information slowly and carefully, not every. Every means it has to come in succession, but she read each information slowly and carefully. Number six, the buses were coming after every few minutes. Why every few minutes? Because few minutes in a succession. Therefore, we use the determiner every. Next, try out five. Fill in the blanks with a, and, the, or some. Now, why is dash democratically elected government supposed to work for dash welfare of its people? Why is a democratically elected government supposed to work for the welfare of its people? Next, what has led to an increase in the rate of arrival of medical tourists in India in recent years? Number three, should private healthcare facilities in India, there will be no article before that, be controlled by the government? The government is specific, which is in rule. So he is asking, should private healthcare facilities in India be controlled by the government? Number four, why are types of information not why are some types of information not covered in the RTI Act? Specific RTI Act, therefore the RTI Act. Some types of information we don't know, indefinite quantity, therefore some. Number five, how can social media marketing play an important role? Because I said vowel, therefore an important role in creating brand awareness as well as a product or service. We don't know what product, not it is some general product or service, therefore the indefinite article or is used. Number six, how is advertising considered important for the promotion of a company's products and services? For the promotion, because specific a company, any general companies, products and services. Now, students, we have this chapter. Any thoughts, let me know in the comment section. If you like my channel, please like, share it, and subscribe to it. Keep the notification button on. When I post a new video, you're notified about it. And kindly subscribe, students. Thank you.